Welcome everybody to Wolves After Dark. Timberwolves lose. Man, that hurts. And Ashman's here. What the heck? That was crazy. I wasn't looking at you. Um,
My friend
Timberwolves
ditched me.
lose. Yeah, that's okay. Timberwolves lose 117-90. In pretty much a not close game, other than the first 10 points. Couple interesting things. I mean, first and foremost, there might be a little bit of ref talk tonight. I won't lie. However, the reason we lost this game is because we gave up. We
Yep.
gave up. It was effort on our part. And it wasn't just one player. It wasn't just a couple players. It was pretty much
No.
everybody, including like coaching at times. Like there's just weird decisions being made all night. But not a great night. However, we still lead the series 2-1. We still have another home game on Sunday. And this is the best Denver's looked in a long time, including the first round, to be honest with you. And this is the worst we've looked in a very long time. So some positives, but obviously pretty bad night. If you're new here, like the stream, follow the stream, guys. The Anthony Edwards funny video has gotten us so many subscribers. You guys remember last stream when I asked you if we could get to 1,500? We're at 1,555 right now. So insane. But if you could like the stream, that would be appreciated. Even if you're a Nuggets fan, you can talk whatever talk you want to talk tonight. But Ashwin, you were out with the people tonight.
Yeah.
How was it?
I saw someone with like an OG starters like jacket, and I wanted it. Of course, it was probably like several sizes too small for me. Lots of dogs.
That's good.
One wearing like an ant like kind of coat around him, which was pretty cool, like probably handmade. I saw a Gugliotta jersey.
Oh my gosh.
I was at a Minnesota sports bar in Seattle, and it was kind of fun. It was a fun environment. However, it got pretty sour pretty quick. I feel like there was a lot of like not fair weather fans, but people who don't like love the sport, but like are riding the Minnesota high.
Yes, 100%.
And I think it kind of translated onto the court. Like I'm not seeing Timberwolves basketball. I'm just seeing kind of basketball happening. I'm not seeing like crisp ball movement and like yeah. Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me? It just like I couldn't believe the lack of effort in the beginning of the game for how hyped the city was.
Right?
I mean, like how?
Yeah, I remember like the Super Bowl, they had this like halftime performance and they like painted the city like kind of pink for Prince. It was like almost at that level. Like not there, but like getting there. The tattoo artist, like all the vibes were just immaculate. Awesome. I've never seen this much Timberwolves content in my life.
Dude.
4-day gap. So many like new pieces of content that are like original. Like so they came to Minnesota to get interviews, right? In multiple interviews, not just like not just one or two. And like I feel like that might have had some sort of play into kind of us relaxing.
Yep.
Oh, look, the national media now loves us, and oh, look, they're singing the praise for the new darling and Ant. Guys, it's Ant. It's not my MJ. Stop doing that. It's like he's gonna be bad. He's going to be awful at times, and he's going to have games like this. Stop already lauding him as like the next.
I know. Yeah.
It's crazy. And you know what? Not to say it humbled us. Holy crap, this was a miserable game. But in a weird way, it's kind of like, okay, now we get to see Denver at their best. Let's see if we can beat their best. And I think we're up to the challenge. It just felt weird that I didn't feel like we came ready. Like we had all this time to prepare and we were not ready.
I know. It's like I could have understood a loss tonight because I really truly believed that Denver the best version of maybe anybody in the playoffs right now for this game against us, because they're down 0-2. They just lost 2 home games as like the favorite. And then they're going to Minnesota. Like if they lost tonight, it was going to be, I mean, series was over essentially.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but it really was. I mean, the beginning of the game, I couldn't believe like how I don't know if it's jitters. Like I don't know if there was like too much
Mhm.
hype to like the fact where they couldn't like they didn't know how to like run their offense or didn't know like who to go to. Gerald always points this out in the Discord, and this is really what it felt like tonight. It was that kind of moment during the regular season where it would be like, okay, Ant's just letting everybody else try to get the offense going. But
Dude.
it's not even like it's because like when we played Phoenix, like Ant did that a little bit, but it was so much more assertive because he was still attempting to score and he was like very crisply passing the ball to people. It was like he'd get doubled, he'd very quickly get it to Na or very quickly get it to Jaden or Cat or somebody. This was just like kind of dribble, do nothing, and then let the defense just dictate the entire possession, and then it's over. Like you just have like it's like the complete opposite because that's what Denver's been doing. Denver's been like, what has Mike Malone been preaching to them? He's like, don't let the shot clock, don't let it be like a full 24 seconds that we are owning this. Like, take a shot, make a play. Um, but no, my first take, similar to what you were saying, is that it's like how do we come out this lackluster to start the game? Like, it's just so bad. And like I thought, sometimes during the regular season we've had slow starts, and then maybe like second quarter we'd take a deep breath and get into it. And it was like we didn't really do that until like the fourth quarter.
Right.
I don't know, just an odd game.
Well,
So like,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I'm
No,
yapping.
I want you to continue yapping. I feel like I missed out on a big chunk of the game because some dude was standing in front of my ass. It was standing room only, by the way. It was standing room only. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Blame the dogs. And
Yeah.
there was a lot of New York fans also in there, which was kind of fun. But
Oh, from the game before, yeah.
from the game prior. But so I missed all the audio. Maybe I heard from the Discord that there were some ESPN audio issues. But I wanted to say Denver played a little bit faster, like faster
Yeah.
in rhythm, not
Oh
quick,
yeah.
like not like they weren't hurried up, but they played to the point where they were getting across half court before we really were bothering them. So then they had a lot of real estate in the shot clock to kind of run a play or get something action going, and we weren't bothering them. I felt like we weren't interrupting their offense. What we were doing in games 1 and 2 was they were completely unraveling, and also they weren't playing their game right. So they were mad about the calls and they were playing the blame the ref kind of stuff. And then also they were not getting their call, not getting executing their offense. They got
Yep.
to run their offense, and I felt like we didn't do anything to stop them. There was a couple of bad calls here and there that I thought I saw, but and then on the other end, we were like distributing to Conley to get a bunch of shots off. Get
Yeah.
like get some everyone could take some shots. I feel
I
like it wasn't like a must win for Minnesota, but it kind of felt
No.
like, hey, they're gonna punch, we're gonna punch too. We didn't see that punch. Like we saw a lot of like kind of feeling out like how they
Yep.
were gonna play, and then not a whole lot of anyone taking over. My
100%.
biggest my biggest negative criticism, like I was so pissed. Like I wish I had like I don't have any hair, but if I had hair, I'd be fucking like ripping it out and throwing it on someone's pizza. Is that Cat was hot as hell, and we just like
Yeah.
didn't go to him at all
Yeah.
this game.
Other than the very beginning of the game, it was like he had those first three threes or
So
whatever it was,
right,
and then it was just, yeah, whatever. We're gonna try to figure out somebody else, and it's like, what? Like, Cat is shooting contested threes and draining them. Let's maybe do like, let's try some things. Um,
yeah. Right,
yeah.
and it was like they were. I don't know if they were like sagging off. I had a hard time like reading the game. I'll obviously kind of watch it again. I think I don't want to, but I'll have to.
Mhm.
And they were kind of like letting us shoot threes to an extent. They were kind of sagging off and clogging the paint. And okay, that's one of those games. Cat hit a couple threes, Ant hit a
Yep.
three, Nah hit a three. Just shoot threes until they have to respond to that, and
Yeah.
then you drive into the. We were just like kind of making things up and
It
not
was, yeah.
miserably passing the ball to each other, especially in the post. I could not
Oh
believe
my
what I was seeing
gosh.
with like slow mo, Rudy and Jaden. It's like
Mhm.
fumbling passes back and forth. It was awful.
Yeah, I'm not. I want to preface this, but what I'm about to say by I am not going there yet, and I don't want
Oh,
anybody to think that I'm even close to going there because it's been a good playoffs. But Rudy being on the floor tonight, I feel like did cause us some problems.
yeah, no one's even
um,
saying that.
yeah, like because our last game looked so good without Rudy out there. And of course, I'm not trying to downplay Rudy's defensive impact, although. It really wasn't there. Like there were
Oh
even
yeah,
moments where I felt like he had some good moments to block shots and come over and help. the defender, and it's just he's just swatting at air, and I'm like, I get that it's a floater and stuff like that, but man, I feel like we had some opportunities there. But yeah, this hurts because it's like, okay, if we're gonna try to get the ball to Gobert in the paint, and he has the brick hands that he has, that can't work. So I don't know, just super disappointing in that way. Again, I'm not trying to say that this is like, Gobert can't play in the playoffs or whatever it might be. But yeah, also shout out, I had it up on the screen for a second. Nick Anderson, appreciate you being
Oh my
remembered for
gosh,
5
thank you so
months.
much, my friend.
Denver was the aggressor today. Yes, they were from the get go, and they never stopped. So, couple quick stats. Not going to put them up on the screen, but Denver. I mean, there was a point where Denver, basically, when the game was already over, they were shooting 60, 60, 90.
What?
Yes. They ended up 50, 50, 85.
Yeah.
So
60,
still,
60,
I
90.
mean,
What was our defense doing then?
nothing. I mean, we really weren't doing anything. It was, I can't, I don't know. I'm trying to balance it because I do think the ref was, I mean, Tony Brothers was out of control tonight. And this goes kind of both ways, honestly. There was a moment apparently during one of the timeouts where he like very aggressively went at like KCP about something. It's like he clearly was just losing his cool from the beginning of the game tonight. And then there was also a point where like Rudy was arguing a call and he very aggressively was like, "Stop it. We're not doing that tonight." And it was like, "Whoa, this guy's crazy." But and
Wow.
also clearly just the text happening tonight, and then it's like,
Yeah.
balance that with like Mike Malone basically like spitting on a ref's face and not getting a technical.
Tonight?
And no, the
Oh,
last
oh,
game,
yeah,
where
yeah,
he
yeah.
got like right in his face, and
No
was
technicals
screaming.
in that game, right? Isn't that
No
insane?
technicals. Jamal Murray throws stuff on the court. No, I get that they didn't see that, but just we're just comparing the two,
Right.
and that's like an interesting thing to compare. Again, that was not the reason we lost it, but was it that early on because there were two ticky tack fouls like immediately out of the gate? Was that just enough to kill our any amount of like positivity in our brains to be like, yep, it's over? Because that's what it seemed like. It seemed like two ticky tack fouls were called, like one on Jaden where it was like pretty light, like sure it's a foul, but it wasn't yesterday or the last game. Um, was that seriously enough to like mentally shut us down and lose? I mean, this is essentially a 40-point loss, and we salvaged a 27-point loss. But that's
Yep.
seriously what it takes to get us mentally off of our game is a couple ticky tack fouls, and then it's just over. Like that seems crazy to me. I don't know.
Hello, welcome to my friend. We had non-believers all along the way, and I have one thing to say to those non-believers: don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion. the
Whoa,
other Rudy.
Rudy. The other
Oh,
one? Wait.
like um June from France. Perimeter defender did not defend as usual. Murray was cooking, and
Mhm.
offensively, no chemistry, not much threes made, and no aggressivity. I like the term aggressivity. Um,
Yeah.
it yeah, it was very painful to watch. I was with a friend who's like you know a Minnesota sports team fan. Kind of like he loves certain players on teams, and he loves like the Knicks right now. So like that's cool. And he was just saying, "Hey man, we're not playing our game like even from like a muted perspective where like there's no audio and just like watching us play. Like Ant's not taking over, Cat's not shooting. We're just having Jordan McLaughlin come in and shoot two threes and miss them. It's like why are we like doing that? Why can't we just like okay, we see the recipe here. Why can't we like ride the hot hand and like have them shift? I didn't see any of that, and it was
Yeah. No.
pretty painful to watch
Yeah.
from
This
the jump,
is
honestly.
there was some chatter in the Discord about like, I'd rather have this kind of a loss than like a
Oh,
heartbreak loss, or like I'd rather have this type of a loss instead of like the Memphis series where we'd go up by 20 and then lose by 20. Um, Honestly, I think the hype leading up to this game essentially felt like a lead to me. So it's like the hype coming into this game, it really felt like this was like, I mean, everybody's saying it. National people are saying it. Local people are saying it. This was like one of the biggest games in Timberwolves. Like I was saying, this biggest Timberwolves game in history in some ways. I mean, like we were talking like if we win this game, we've got a pretty good path to make it to the finals, probably. I will say the other thing. I'm being Jaden. Jaden always says, "I'll say" before he says something.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. I will say that although it doesn't hurt, like I think you're right in saying that tonight maybe wasn't like a must-win night. Um, but Sunday's game, I think, regardless of win or loss tonight, was kind of a must. I mean, obviously, it would have been a game four closeout game, but I worry a little bit about it because if they win game four, they go back home. And now they've figured some things out and they've got some momentum. And then
Yep.
in my mind, like if they figure out if we don't punch back the next game and win, um, it is not a tied series. Like even though it technically is a tied series, um, it's going to require quite the monumental effort out of us in Denver for Game Five. Um, that I don't know. I mean, if Denver's going to shoot like this, it's impossible. I mean, like they were just everything was going in for them. Even Christian Brown was making shots. Aaron Gordon made like three threes in a row.
That was wild.
Um, like all of these players that like should not be making shots were making shots tonight. And you could maybe view that as like, oh, this is a random one-off night, or you could view this as, hey, they're getting their mojo back. And this to me, I'm a little bit of a doomsdayer, so maybe take this with a grain of salt. But this didn't feel like, oh, this is just a one-off night. This felt like, hey, they figured it out. So I
Oh
think
wow.
we have to. I think Sunday night has to be. I mean, obviously you can't lose, but it has to be such a convincing comeback. Like this has to be a win, and it has to be emphatic. Um, yeah, it's got to be big. But also, shout out. I hate to say this because it's like kind of negative, but like shout out to the fans. I really do feel bad. The hype leading up to this game, everybody planning their days around multiple days around this. I mean, people were showing up in
Absolute
Minneapolis
dog.
early. People were paying $300 to touch the roof of Target Center. So
Yeah.
um, that's rough. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that because that
Shout out
is
to the
a
fans for sure.
painful experience. But also shout out to the fans that were yelling Wolves in five. That is the right mentality. And I think it's something that we do need to change. This is a little bit of a soapbox. Our attitudes as fans, I get it. We've had 20 terrible years. And I just said, I'm a doomsdayer. That's kind of what I've been led to believe now is in the doomsday kind of mentality. But that translates to the players. So I think we need to have some positivity. Of course, tonight was bad, and I'm not trying to say it praise them in any way because this was really bad. Like this was terrible, and it deserves to be called out. But there still needs to be hope because if we have no hope, then the players, it could translate to the players. So um, Joel says, I know it isn't just the refs because we were shit, but our strength is defense. And as soon as they started calling ticky tack fouls, I knew it was over. Credit to Denver, though. They were great. Yeah, I think it was really a combination of all those things. It was the refs being ticky tack, the Wolves giving up the minute ticky tack fouls were being called. And on top of it, the Nuggets just played like near perfect basketball. Like they played so well, so many shots going in. I mean, Porter 6 of 10, Aaron Gordon 5 of 7, Murray 11 of 21, Jokic 10 of 18, and then everybody on their bench other than Tyson or whatever his name is shot 50% or better. So it's like that's crazy. um,
4 days
not going to win
off is
with
a
that.
long time to believe the hype. They're humans, and this loss is the best thing this team needs. And David Peterson
I
kind of echoes this and says this season has been
Yep,
defined by coming back through tough losses. And I
it
kind of
has.
love this
Yep,
positivity here through what was it a mucky, ugly, kind of hard to
terrible,
watch game.
embarrassing game. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yes, you're right. And I was thinking about that actually during the game at one point too. Is like it's like yeah, how many times? Like think of it, we never lost more than 2 games in a row this season. So we've always and when we've had these losses like this, think of the Atlanta loss early in the season. We came back and went on a run. We beat the Celtics in like a crazy game quickly after that. Like,
mhm.
and we had a really good. I think we even beat the Nuggets in a quickly time after that too. I can't remember exactly, but
Yeah.
you know, there have been losses throughout the season that have sparked us to be better. Um, so yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we should be saying this is over. Obviously, we're up to one, but I like this positive. I like this wavelength for sure. The Charlie Barley, the valley makes the mountaintop much sweeter, or some shit.
Or some shit.
Yeah. True, Charlie Barley.
I like it.
Comment
Hey,
of the
I'm going
night.
to be posting in the chat a tier list.
Do it.
Join us if you want. I think it's going to be rather quick. Cameron, I want it to be. These guys have somewhere to be. I think it's bad.
I do too. I also want to go outside and look at the aurora.
Yeah, totally.
Apparently, it's supposed to be crazy. People can see it in Alabama right now, so I feel like we have a chance.
I'm going to do one more post, and then I'm going to present.
It is pinned in the chat, everybody. Make sure you fill out your tier maker. This might be the tierest quick ever. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Also, before get a little ad in. We're sponsored by Manscaped today. No, I'm just kidding. We are not sponsored by Manscaped. But if you could like the stream, I know it was a terrible day, but like the stream, and then we won't lose game 4. If we get to 25 likes, I'm not setting a high bar tonight. 25 likes, we won't lose game 4. And subscribe. We do this after every game, even 50-point losses, which tonight essentially was a 50-point loss. And guys, I definitely didn't doubt streaming tonight in the Discord, so don't look back at the chat logs. Cool. 2-1 is the same as
energy. 1-0. Let's keep that same energy. Yeah, that's interesting.
And you from your main account, I appreciate it.
Yeah. No burners for this guy.
No burners.
Or maybe he has many burners. Okay, I'm not even really going to go through what we do here because I feel like most of everyone here, it's kind of like a quieter night, both in Discord as well as like on stream. Yeah, we have a tier list, nightly tier list, and A1's amazing. Glenn Taylor is exactly what it is. And we lost by almost 30, if not 40, if not 50. So bear in mind, this is just on tonight's performance, not overall. Let's have at it. Cameron.
Yes, sorry. I just realized that I missed calling out 5 gifted from Eric.
Eric.
For some reason, my alert thing isn't showing up like normal.
On a night like
I appreciate it. On a night like tonight, on an important night like tonight. Eric, I appreciate you as always for the 5 gifted. Seriously.
And he says, all is not lost. We are still 6-1 in the playoffs so far.
Yeah, also, this is
Cameron,
only the 3rd game at home.
It warmed my heart to see the crowd as roaring as possible. But there was a Cash shirt from one of our own, and he got a picture with Michael Grady. I kind of lost it at that moment, and I sent you a really stupid ass fucking picture, and I tweeted it, and it was like mostly black screen because I'm that bad at Twitter.
You love borders. You're a big border fan.
But it was like, I felt the love in that very moment, and I also hope that it was like a fun moment for you to like see Grady and be like, I'm wearing your face.
Here, let me share it real quick so everybody knows what I'm talking about, and then we'll go back right to the tier list. Do this. There it is.
That's amazing.
Look at the Cash shirt with Grady. That's a W. That's a W. Shout out Grady. Shout out Bowtie Blizzy, I believe your name is in the Discord.
Yeah.
Discord. Seriously, this is incredible. Thank you for doing this. And that's awesome. I just this was crazy to see, considering just thinking of our growth. It's insane. Like going from 5 viewers to now Grady's got our t-shirt right next to him. That's crazy. Okay. Anyways, that's the W of the night. Add this back
to what doesn't matter.
Back to your hashtag analytics that you all came here for. All right.
I feel like we can move on from Monte Morris. The one thing I wanted to say, because I don't have the stats in front of me, is that it was McLaughlin that came in, not Monte.
Yeah, that was super concerning. I don't understand why that was a decision. I will say, and that's me going back on my word there a little bit, because I was last game I was why? I even said, I think I said that he was a Wancho. Monte Morris was a Wancho last game, right. Because he took away from us. J-Mac had 2 perfect opportunities at wide open threes and clanked them in the same exact way, which is a positive. He's got consistency. But but those were also really bad minutes for us, where we kind of had like a close game where we weren't playing well and Denver was playing well, and it was still like a 1-point game, and then it was like boom, suddenly 10-point game and it's over. So yeah, that was weird. I guess maybe I take back everything I said bad about Monte. Maybe Monte should be playing. I don't know, but yeah, I don't have any grade for him tonight. Maybe like, I mean, meh. I don't know. Like, I don't even want to give meh. I don't even. I like. Is it even worth meh? I guess he didn't play, so.
D'Lo. Garza represents the scrubs. Sorry for saying scrubs, but you know what? In our hearts, they're amazing, but they also don't play much. I didn't watch any part of this time, but Garza hit his shots. I don't know, made it more of a contest than.
I'll give him a B. I'm okay with that.
All right, all of the scrubs got to be.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I like that.
I don't even want to talk about this guy's stats. He 0 for 3 from 3. Juancho.
I mean, it kind of was Juancho. But maybe if you could just pull that 3 back a little bit, that would have been an A. But or Cash. Could have been Cash. But no.
Slow-mo, Cameron. 13 minutes,
Yikes.
3 points, 2 steals. Is that all I could say about him? Because that's kind of all I can say about him.
Got a technical.
Oh, you got a technical.
Very weird. Yeah, I don't know. You might have left like right at that point. I'm not sure.
I did.
Yeah, I think you did, because right after it was like Na got hurt on a screen, and then Na ? Got ejected from the game. I don't really know.
What?
Punched a chair, by the way. Punched a chair.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What? And Kyle was arguing with, I don't remember if it was Tony Brothers or not, but there was a ref that or it might have been Goebel. I don't remember. Either way, he was arguing with somebody. It looked like he got ejected, but I think it was actually Na that got ejected. Very weird stuff happening during that timeout that you left. So, anyways, Kyle tonight. I mean, I feel like this was a pretty horrific night. He missed shots. Did he have turnovers? Let's see. I felt like he had turnovers. He did not, but I don't know. The 13 minutes that he was out there felt like 13 too many. So I feel like this is Juancho, if not bottoms. Like
bottoms. Let's go bottoms.
Tier deflation is warranted. Yeah.
Let's go bottoms. It's also partially because Gobert got into foul trouble early, so we saw him early.
Yeah.
There was a weird lineup where we had Cat, Slow-mo, and Nas, and then the only thing we were doing was Nas was just driving to the rim and then like undercutting all of his layups. And I just like didn't understand both sides of the ball with that lineup. And I mean, Slow-mo could have taken over this game in that weird moment where Jokic was on the floor. And I think he was just so, I don't know, in his own head. I don't know. I'm giving him bottoms. I think we're talking too much about him.
All good.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 26 minutes, 6 points, 2 turnovers, a punch to a chair, apparently. No threes. And I didn't recognize him out on the court tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was bad. Just tentative defense, I think, because of the foul calls and stuff like that. He was maybe one of the more aggressive defenders, I guess, but like still nobody was good enough tonight. So yeah, I mean, the chair punch seriously bothers me. Like, I thought he was the even-keeled one. He's the one that's preaching even-keeled all these times.
Absolutely.
And he goes and punches a chair. Like, come on, we can't be doing that. So if that report is true, they didn't show it on TV, but they said it on TV that he punched a chair. If that is actually true, then that is seriously bad and like Juancho, if not bottoms level play. Like, that's crazy. But but like, I still like it's one of those situations where it's like I kind of, it kind of made me want more Na out there, but we were just behind, so it just didn't matter. But it is merely a setback.
You're great.
Next Sunday strong.
Is but a flesh wound.
There we go. I like it. Charlie Barley, you got all the perfect quotes. You need to be in the locker room right now. We need some inspiration.
It'd be great to be in the locker room right now and see what the fuck. Actually, maybe not right now, but it'd be great to be like, hey, so what's up?
Yeah.
Well, I want to give him a D.
Want to put him
Juancho.
Yeah, I'm kind of more along the lines of Juancho, honestly. Boom. The chair punch is seriously like crazy, getting to my head. If the chair punch wasn't there, I could maybe go like D'Lo, but I don't know.
That's an upgrade. Naz Reid, 21 minutes, 7 points, 1 3. He did hit a 3 because it was looking worrisome there for a minute. 2 for
Mhm.
7 though, by the way. Uh, negative 25 plus or minus. Nothing else to really talk about.
I
One
will say,
rebound.
I actually will say something else to talk about. I feel like he was the only person who guarded Jokic effectively tonight.
Oh,
He had the poke away at a time. He had good, like, not fouling. Like, Towns gets way up into Jokic when he's playing. And, like, Towns was honestly, it's a miracle Towns didn't foul out in, like, the
foul out.
first half of this game because he was just playing so aggressive and, getting, like, mentally kind of broken by, like, the flopping that Jokic does because Jokic does do a fair
A
amount of
lot of that.
flopping.
Yeah,
But he was letting it get to him and kind of, like, flopping back, and that's just when you do that, it makes the ref call something, and they're probably just gonna call it on the defense. So, like, you just can't do that. But I thought Nas defensively was okay. That doesn't say I think that he had a great night, because he had a lot of layups that missed there in the beginning that were just like, "We need you to either do this in control, or if you're gonna be out of control like you were, make them." Like, one of the 2 has to happen. So defense, I'd give maybe a B, but everything the offense was like Wancho level. So I don't know. D'Lo
yeah.
is
I think
really
it's
difficult.
D'Lo. I think it's D'Lo. The only thing I wanted to say is that I felt like we went away from what makes him great. And he was driving into traffic and just shooting underhanded layups. Like
Yeah,
he hit
yeah.
one of them, but then the other ones that were just like he went like 1 for 6 of the first half or something, right? You know what I mean? Like it was that's all he did. He shot a couple threes. He was short on them, and then he was like, I have to drive and not get calls and just be short on layups. And then we are in transition the other way. They get easy shots. Like
Yeah,
Michael Porter
yep.
Jr. hit a three.
Ooh.
Fucking Justin Holiday hit a three. Like awful.
Also, yeah, he was a part of that one play. The play that probably drove me the most crazy tonight. They inbound the ball to Jamal Murray on the right side of the court, the far right side of the court, TV wise.
Yeah.
And Nas kind of pressuring him a little bit out to the outside, and Nas is supposed to be there to catch him and like stop him from going to the paint. Does not, stays with his man, and Murray just goes in for a wide open layup
Oh,
for
I remember that.
94 feet.
Oh my
Like
god.
that drove me crazy because you could see in Nas's decision,
He's
like,
like,
I think this is supposed to be me, but I'm just gonna stay with my guy. It was like, what the heck is going on? And that was not Nas' fault. That was Nas needing to step up and either make him make a pass or charge, even because he was like going speedy at that moment. So that drove me crazy. I think I still stayed at D'Lo.
yeah, D'Lo. Moving on. Man, it's like kind of upsetting. Like to grade these guys so low. Man, I feel like pinch me. I've been on such a cloud nine, such a high
I
with
know
this
we
team.
have been on a high. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is hard, but
but it's like hard to like kind of accept this. I kind of knew this was going to be a series. I didn't know how we were going to lose, but I was expecting maybe a loss here or there. The way we lost tonight was more telling than the fact that we lost. Like
yeah.
how we decided to like run our like our substitutions, who was out there, how we decided who was taking the shots, how we're running our offense, how we're getting open looks or not. It felt like
Mhm.
we weren't reading the defense. The defense was super easy to penetrate through or like walk through, and we were just like walking the ball up, taking our sweet ass time, like
Yeah.
not getting into good sets. I felt like Gobert's foul trouble got us out of rhythm, and then and it translated to not just like poutiness, but this like lack of energy on both sides of the
Oh
court.
yeah.
And I just like, who was that team out there? Mike
Seriously.
Conley, Mike Conley. I mean, I guess there was some like positives with Mike Conley hitting some shots early, right? But like,
Mhm.
he went
It
one
felt
for
like it
four
was
in the
Yeah, sorry. It felt like one of those games where, like, you kind of said it earlier, where they just kept passing it to Mike, and they're like, "Hey, maybe make a shot." Even though Towns is making shots, like, you're the one
right.
open. Like, let's maybe see if you can get some shots. He did, but it felt like one of those games where you kind of need Mike Conley to go off for like 20, and
Yeah.
then have the defense maybe shift a little bit more in his direction, or not, and just let him go off. But then we didn't do that either. It's just a very odd night. Anyways, you can go on with his
I mean, he
stats.
was 2 for 8 at halftime. What does that
Yeah.
mean? We That's way too many shots. Like he comes out when we need him, right? And like it looks like,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe we needed him, but in like an amount, not like the most shots of our team. I
Mhm.
didn't think I liked his game, but he had 6 assists, 1 turnover, or 3 turnovers. Sorry, a steal and 6 rebounds. So he did his job. I don't know if that's like enough for me. 1 for
Yeah,
5 from 3. We have now understood that you're more than this. I was very disappointed with Mike Conley, but I will accept any grade that you have.
I think it's a D-Lo. This, I mean, reminds me of a D-Lo night.
Yeah, dude.
So
That stat
this
line
is
was 1 for 5 from 3.
yeah, this is a D-Lo. This is an actual D-Lo night. But he did have 6 rebounds. Shout out for getting those rebounds. So almost he did get a triple single. Oh no, he had 10 points. He had 10 points. But anyways, no, it was I think it's a D-Lo night for Mike. I don't want to go too harsh on him, but D-Lo feels fair to me.
Okay. As we move on to Jaden, Evergreens 11. I did see your other peep your other comments. We'll get to that when we talk about Cat. But yeah, this is a good chapter. Lots to learn from, and we took a beating from the champs. I like that he said champs because yes, this is something that we need to understand is that winning isn't like guaranteed, and they were the champs, right? They have persevered through shit. I wanted to talk about Denver in a little bit, like later. We'll talk about that. But like, better to lose now and tie up our loose ends before deeper in the playoffs, especially when we're up 2-1. I kind of like that optimism, like that, like subtle optimism there. And yeah, thanks for that comment, Evergreens.
Yeah, like imagine if this was flipped, and because like realistically, that's kind of what I expected is this to be flipped and them to win the first 2 games convincingly, and then us to come home and maybe win game 3. That's kind of where I thought we might be in the series, and then it's the opposite. So this is a weird spot. Anyways, who's up next?
And Charlie Barley. This is a chapter in a glorious story. Still my take. I love it.
I like it.
That documentary, man. I feel like we said something, and it's like that would be just like the best. Okay, Jaden McDaniel. Sorry, let me get my stats again. He didn't have anything going, but he did have a dunk at one point in the first half. But then he ended up the game 4 for 6 from the floor. All 4 of those were dunks by cutting. 10 points, 4 fouls, 3 rebounds, 2 block shots, a steal. And he hit a couple threes. He didn't hit any a couple free throws. He didn't hit any threes. And all I'll say is he was kind of an afterthought, and Denver was playing game planning around the fact that they weren't guarding him.
Yeah, and I think also they were game planning on flopping every time he made any amount of contact with him. This is the one player where I'm like, yeah, I blame the refs because I think honestly this series so far, I feel like Jaden. This is maybe a hot take, but I kind of feel like Jaden's like our near because we've had some good performances, but near MVP. Like, or maybe not MVP, but like somebody that you absolutely cannot have off the court for you. Like he needs to be on the court because his impact defensively is insane. So like when he was taken out of the game immediately, I mean he sat with 9 minutes left in the first, I think.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he had 2 fouls pretty quick, I believe.
Oh my god.
That immediately is like the ref saying, "Yeah, no, we're not going to let you defend tonight." So, and I also understand, there's some plays where like he is having contact with the player. Like there was one, the second foul, I think was like, or maybe third. He was kind of like holding a little bit around the side of like Michael Porter Jr., but it's not. This is one of those things where it's like this is marginal contact. This is not affecting the player. This is just like his hands are in certain positions. This is not him yanking the player. This is him with his hand around it, which again, I get is technically a foul, but like we are in the playoffs, man. Like this needs to be somewhat physical. And like, if you look at game 2 compared to this, like Jaden technically probably has 27 fouls in game 2 if Tony Brothers is refereeing that game. So this is the only player that I'm going to allow myself to say, I blame the refs.
I blame the refs too. Also, crazy, and I will rewatch it. Like I couldn't understand all of the ticky tackness through the live play at a bar, but it's irresponsible for the NBA to have such volatile like games called. Like one, they allow people to fucking throw temper tantrums, spit in a ref's face, throw objects on the floor, and nothing. And then one, Naz Reid, kind of quietly barks at a ref. Doesn't get back in transition, and then they give him a tech. Stop the play.
Dude, that was the weakest tech, dude.
Weakest tech.
How do you call that a tech? Also, Goebel was convinced into it by the Denver bench. He wasn't going to call it, and then Denver looks at him and goes, "Are you just going to let him say that?" And then he says, "You know what? Aggressive, tee him up. You're right. I shouldn't be talked to like that."
Wow, this had silver written all over it. Then, if that's something like that like happened, but like also we stunk the bed and we didn't shoot well, and
You're
But
supposed to. You got it.
I
Yeah,
think
you got to
Jaden was
force it.
okay. However, they game planned around him, and we didn't take full advantage of the fact that they were leaving him open. I like the fact that he was cutting, and we didn't find him all the time. I'm gonna give him a meh.
I'm okay with that. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
All right, moving
Also,
forward.
weird fact. I mean, I don't. It's not a fact. More a weird question. How many shots has Jaden taken? How many games has Jaden taken the first shot of the game this playoff? I feel like it's like every single game he's had a shot immediately. So can he make those plays? Like, I want these to go because he had the 3 right away and it clanked, but it was like that would have been a very good momentum builder right off the bat. But
totally, that's kind of like a classic thing that people do, like players that like don't get going without like a play call or an ATO.
Yep.
And to kind of just like see what defenses do with the player that they don't like, value highly. They kind of run a play immediately for. You see it all the time, Anyways,
if you're into sports betting, maybe next game bet Jaden to get the first basket. Shot. Like that's a very possible thing because he keeps doing that. Like he keeps shooting first. Not saying it goes in.
Charlie says, just looked at NASA Aurora map. If you got clear skies, go look at as soon as you can. As soon as we're done here. Wow. Charlie says, hey, until we're done. I would say go ahead and fuck off if you really want to.
you guys can go do whatever you want.
It's going to get worse. Like, we're going to talk about like our all-stars here, like in a minute, and it's not going to get, it's not going to be pretty. Smoke a legal bowl and do the Aurora if that's your thing. Is that a dance? Do the Aurora.
Yeah. Do the Aurora. Yeah. Well, everybody moved to Washington with us.
Yeah. Dude, Fremont was
I don't
popping tonight though. It was like kind of fun to be out. I don't go out. It was kind of nice
Friday. Yeah.
That was probably.
I didn't even realize. Yeah, I don't go out either.
And a lot of Minnesota fans, man. Like that was kind of sick to see. Every bar in Fremont had the game on.
Wow, that's cool. People care about this series, which is unfortunate that we were so bad tonight. But people do care about this series.
I love that transition. Rudy Gobert, 27 minutes, 6 points, 4 fouls, 4 rebounds. 4 rebounds. Get the fuck out of here. And he missed both his free throws. We have been in a like kind of luxury swan song with him, like kind of shooting his free throws and making him like he was Steph Curry, right? But he missed both his free throws tonight. He had a couple dunks. That's all I saw from him. I saw nothing else.
I really thought this was a pretty bad game from him, and I blame babies. Our team is having too many babies.
Too many babies.
Like people are all focused on their kids right now. Of course, like, that's more important. I'm not one of these people that is like he shouldn't have skipped the game, but like he definitely should have skipped the game. Also, his teammates
pull out.
Hashtag pull out. Hashtag
WOD squad on the
WOD squad is a totally different meaning. Wow, we cannot get away from these jokes, Ash. We didn't even try to do that one.
We didn't try.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric, you're right, man.
Our shots not falling early, deflate. Yeah, that too. I really think it was more the fouling.
Like our defense is primarily how we get our offense running. Like it's not our offense fuels our defense. In this iteration of our team, that's how usually it goes. But in this iteration, it's our defense fuels our offense.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
it did. I don't know if this is going to show up on stream.
Ooh.
My sister sent me a picture of the Aurora.
It's like we're there.
It's like we're in Minnesota with all of you.
Thanks, sister.
Yes.
Sister T.
I keep trying to look out my window. I can't see. I mean, I'm like in a very light polluted area, so there's like no shot.
Yeah, but you're fucked.
I'm
near a golf ranch or a golf ranch.
Ranch. I want a golf ranch. Hell yeah. Business idea.
But their stadium lights are up, so I'm fucked. Also,
yeah,
Macho, moving on. I don't want to care. I don't want to talk about him, honestly. I just felt like I was embarrassed. Like he's our star player. We didn't see him in game 2. We saw him in game 3.
Yeah.
And we look like an absolutely different team out there. And he took away, like you said at the start of the show, he took away from our team. And to some extent, like, we could go 5 out when he's not out there. And like they were letting us shoot threes. We could have responded by like pulling Gobert and just like chucked them.
Exactly.
Especially when our offense was. Go ahead.
It made me wonder at a point. Again, I'm not trying to get into this like we can't play Gobert in the playoffs. Clearly, we just won a series with Gobert in the playoffs, and he was very crucial to that. But But it's like, I kind of wonder if we have too much pride to take him out in moments. Like, is it one of those things where it's like, hey, if we take him out, then people are going to say, oh, it's Gobert is bad in the playoffs, kind of a thing. Because that's kind of what it felt like tonight. Because Monday night was really nice. And I'm not saying that every game would be like that without Gobert, but like, it wasn't working early. So maybe let's just throw that lineup out there and see what happens. But no, we kept with Gobert, and it just got worse and worse. So I agree with Wancho. Not a good night from him.
I want to like get red in the face, blow up in my head, like blow up in front of you all. I will not tonight because I want to get out of here. Carl Anthony Towns in 32 minutes, 14 points, 4 for 7 from the floor. By the way, he was 4 for 4 from 3. He would ended up being 4 for 5 from 3. He only went to the free throw line once, had 5 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 2 fouls. He probably could have fouled out in this game the way that they were calling.
He should have fouled out in this game, bro. He was fouling so much.
I understand the selflessness in tow with this player, with this individual. But boy, howdy, it is a miserable characteristic, a personality trait, when it's like game 3, punch back, and you chose not to get open. You chose not to get the ball in your hands. You chose not to fight for position. It was kind of worse than just going 0 for 10 from 3 or 2 for 15. You know what I mean? He was actively not looking for the ball. And it wasn't how they were defending him. It was just him just being apathetic. I was floored by what I saw from him.
Especially after such a hot start. Oh like how did we end up with only 4 threes made? He made 3 like right out the gate. And it was like, the thing that I do feel bad about Carl for is that like he's been, I don't know why I just called him Carl. Why for Cat, why I feel bad because like, Ant has had a lot of like hype crowd moments as his time, and Cat has not, because it's a lot of Cat's good times were before we had a good team. And and they were worthy moments of like loud crowd pops and like super exciting kind of like national moments even. And to me, the beginning of this game felt like, man, this is Cat's time. Like he's going to show everybody. He's been shooting so well this series, and in the playoffs, like he's been playing well. This is maybe his moment to kind of be like, look at me. Like everybody talked about Ant being MJ over the last week and debating on whether or not he is or not. Like forgetting the fact that they have. I mean, even though Tim Legler said literally 10,000 times on the broadcast tonight that he's the self-proclaimed best shooting big.
Man, maybe he was glad that I was glad that it was on YouTube.
He said it so many times.
Legler blows, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like, he shot so well in the beginning. How does that not continue going into the rest of the game? And they were even contested shots too. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It felt like he had it going, and it's like, why not keep doing that? And I think you're right in some respect about talking about it being like, this team is unselfish to a fault at times. Ant is like this a lot. Cat is like this. Every one of our scorers is one of like every player is like this. Everybody's willing to make another pass to where we get turnovers. And Cat a lot started hesitating on his threes too. I think I do think most of this game was mental. And I honestly, even though Cat was shooting so well in the beginning, and I know there was kind of a lot of praise for Cat tonight, at least from what I saw and heard. But I really felt like mentally he was not locked in tonight, because there were many times, like what I was talking about with the Jokic, like flailing, they're just flailing back and forth. It's like, no, you can't do that. Let Jokic be flailing. And, unfortunately, he's going to get calls for flailing. And like that one play where he elbows Towns and then just falls onto the ground. Like,
oh my God,
dude, like that is like the most ridiculous thing.
Dumb.
Like, keep your cool in those moments. Don't retaliate. You got to learn. I can't remember. I wrote this down someplace. Maybe I still have it in my notes. Because what I thought this was going to come down to, yes, fouls, learning when to be aggressive and not in regards to like, maybe if you just got away with a call, don't be aggressive on defense. because they are if they realize in their head that they missed a call like 3 seconds late, they're not going to call it. They're going to just wait and be a little bit more ticky tacky on the next opportunity. And Towns, during all of his games ever in his career, does not follow that rule that I just gave. He says, I got away with one. They're letting me be physical. So then he gets like super up into them to the point where they basically have to call a foul. That is a Towns problem, but also a team problem. Like, we need to understand when we can be aggressive and when we can't, when we've gotten away with something and when we haven't gotten away with something, or vice versa, where they can tell, like, on one end, they totally missed a call. That means that on the next end, maybe defensively, they're going to let you get away with a little bit more as kind of like a makeup call in a way. Or even a charge, like try to take a charge in those moments. See, Conley's maybe the only one that's smart at this kind of stuff. Yeah.
He did
Anyways, that was a
foul
long
KCP
tangent.
from 3.
Yeah. He
No,
did
I
do
don't think
that,
that was a
yes.
tangent. I think that's very articulately stated. Like, Towns has some flaws about him, but it's also like part of the DNA of our team, and we allow and we encourage him to like kind of swallow some of that pride and like do the simple play. We stopped communicating out there even. And I think what helps him is constant communication, like, hey, run, get back, or hey,
Yep.
check my man, or like, like, I think that kind of simple stuff helps him think about things simply. And I think he was a little too in his head about, especially after those 2 threes and those like ooh emotes or whatever. He was like, oh, it's my but then he didn't get the ball back, and that's my biggest flaw. I think I am pretty disappointed. I'm not like angry. It's just one loss.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty disappointed because I think, as you so eloquently said, Ant didn't necessarily have it going early. Cat did.
Yeah.
Cat should have, like, it should have just been like, I have an idea. Let's keep shooting. That just didn't happen. I was disappointed that the ball kept on going to Conley, and Conley wasn't finding Cat. And Cat wasn't trying to get open. That should have been in Conley's head. Oh, who has a hot hand? Who's made all of his fucking threes? Like, come on. Anyways, moving on. Like, Denver made shots, but they didn't like get going until like Jaden sat down, until Gobert sat down, until all of that like that stature that we've been like, kind of maturing on defense was taken out of the game. And then they were able to kind of flail around, get the calls go their way, and then also make shots, make tough shots. Murray hit some tough shots, but then also spread the floor, and Gordon hit threes, and even like their others like made some shots. It's like, it's kind of stupid, but it's like, it is kind of like a snowball effect. And we didn't have it going offensively, but Cat did. And all I'm trying to say is, until we find holes on the defense, just ride the hot hand. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
This is a deload.
Just make them. Yeah, I agree. Make them W, and then once they W, you can pass it out to Ant, who then will be single teamed, or Conley, who might be wide open, or Jaden, who might be wide open. There's options. And we just didn't learn that as a team. This is a little bit more of a team grade for Towns, but still, like, it's like, we got to get it going. Like, you can't have 7 shots, especially when you shot 4 of 7. Like, I don't know. That's crazy. Anyways.
Anthony
Edwards.
Is
Ant the only one left?
37 minutes, 19 points, team high, 19 points. Team high, plus minus negative, team low, sorry. Worst, plus minus negative 32. 8 for 15 from the floor. He had a couple tough shots. He had some nice layups, 3 for 8 from 3. He had a couple really silly rushed threes as well. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers. Wow. All of those turnovers felt like they were right in front of Jokic, by the way. Like, just like dribbling 2 in front of him. I don't know how to grade him tonight.
I struggle with this too, because I have very strong feelings about him, but I also, he kind of salvaged some amount. I mean, there's no salvaging in this game other than winning, but like, he did have a good run in the third, where I think it was the third, where it kind of felt like, okay, maybe we're giving ourselves a shot here. And he's like kind of trying to do the takeover, even though we're down 20. Like, if we can get it to 13 or 12, and that's like brought to you by Ant, maybe others can get involved, and we have the double on Ant, pass it to Nah, who knocks down a 3, or Nas, or whatever. And I felt like at times he was kind of doing this. I will say, his energy immediately out the gates, bottoms tier, like so bad. The energy, I mean, he's legit walking around the court like he is an 80-year-old. I'm not even exaggerating. It is so bad. I don't know how that's possible when this is your first home game in the series, and this is the most hyped that Minneapolis has ever been, and maybe the most hyped game you've ever been in, where the crowd is on your side. um, how can you possibly not come out? I almost would have liked to have seen him be like way too energized to a fault, where he's like sprinting and crashing into people and charging, or like doing crazy stuff like that. Because in the beginning of the game, to me, this was just way too slow. I don't know if he's trying to overcompensate and be like, hey, I don't want to do what I was just mentioning, and I want to make sure that I'm playing reserved and like calm and whatever. Um, or if he just, because sometimes he just doesn't feel like he has it, and this kind of looked like that night. But the thing that I was going to say, I'm starting to wonder if there's certain game plans that we go into the game with where he just totally does not vibe with it, and then he turns into Wiggins and just is kind of like, I'm off. I can't. I don't know how to. And it's less of like a bad mental. Like, I'm not trying to say that he's being like negative on purpose or something like that. I just think that it like turns his brain off if we're going to be doing the offense a certain way, and he just can't understand it and get into it. Maybe just a youth thing. Maybe it's just like he needs more time, but that's what it gave. That's what it spoke to me tonight. All that to say, I have no idea where to put him. I don't think it's meh. I think at the highest, D'Lo, but honestly, I'm probably closer to like Wancho or Bottoms.
He didn't get to the line at all. You know who got to the line? Contavious Caldwell Pope 6 times. Michael Porter
That's
Jr.
crazy.
6 times. Right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
He didn't get to the line. And I think that's, telling about the silver NBA. But also, like, he didn't really try.
Yeah, he didn't earn it. He didn't try to, like, there was one drive, but he didn't even get fouled on the drive. And it's like, I don't know.
We don't need you making tough shots. We need you to like play efficiently. And
Yeah.
I really like sometimes when we like I don't love passing down low to Gobert and like having him do stuff
Mhm.
kind of ad hoc or
Yeah.
like he's like a mad lib
Yeah.
of like things that he does. But like he gets in he gets the opposing team into foul trouble and then we get into the
Yeah.
bonus. Sometimes we can
Yeah.
take advantage of it. And
Yep.
Ant would be a benefactor of that. We were
Mhm.
never really in the bonus except for maybe partially in the third, and we didn't take advantage of that. It's like okay, so Cat can't get to the foul line. Jaden doesn't ever get fouled. Conley doesn't ever get. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's gone
Yeah.
Gobert as on Ant. Ant just didn't want to. I feel like
Yeah.
he was actively avoiding the contact that could have been something that he could have slowed the game down. One thing that I was talking with my friend about is that we need to slow this game down, muck this game up, get to the line. See the ball go in the hoop. Like,
Yeah.
I
Just
swear.
something. Yeah.
Something.
You need to have
And
some positivity going some way. And we just like never created that for ourselves, other than that one tiny burst from Ant in the third. Like that was it.
7-0 burst, yeah.
Yeah. But also quick shout out to Ant. He had one incredible pass to Rudy. There was, and actually it was,
Oh, yeah.
that was amazing because I think it was either a missed free throw from Denver or some missed shot where Ant grabbed the rebound and he was yelling at Rudy. And I was really confused as to why he was yelling at Rudy, but I think he grabbed the rebound and was calling the play to him immediately. And then
Oh,
they went down, ran the play to perfection, and Rudy got the wide open dunk. It was like
that's
kind of
cool.
interesting. I'm not going to rewatch this game, but if you rewatch it, I think it's in the first quarter. You watch after the missed before that play where Ant kind of like I think it was a bounce pass to Rudy where he got the wide open dunk. Look at the missed rebound before he yells, and it looks like I thought he was angry and like fighting like Gobert for the rebound, and it was kind of like what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
But I think he was actually calling out the play because immediately after that they went right to it and it was perfect. So that looked really good. That gave me a lot of promise, honestly. Early, I was like, oh my gosh, if we're going to be able to pass to Gobert like this, if Ant can pass to Gobert, that unlocks a different level to his game. But anyways, that was really one of the only highlights tonight.
I'm putting him in D'Lo.
Okay.
Coaching, I don't know.
This felt pretty bad. It's hard to say this because, and I hate going so back and forth with the coaching because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm either like it's A or it's Wancho. And I feel like tonight was like Wancho. It was pretty bad. I just like, there was too many Kyle minutes and minutes that I didn't want them, but also we were in foul trouble. So it's like, but also keeping the starters out there for so long in the fourth when you're down by 30. Guess what? Newsflash, you're not coming back from 30 or 35 down with 7 minutes to go. Also, then Naw gets injured on that play, where then he got up and got the 2 technicals and he ejected and then punches a chair. So, like, we could have taken that element out of the game. And there's just, I get it. Fans paid money to go to the game, but like at the end of the day, like it's more important to be moving on in the playoffs and having Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Anthony Edwards or Karl Anthony Towns healthy to go to the next game, if not the next round. So, yeah, that was concerning. But
ooh, dude, he's just been
look at all these lines you're dropping.
I believe Sunday.
Yes.
Dayon Davis, welcome, my friend.
Sunday will be a bounce back.
Sunday will be a bounce back game. Wolves win. I love that belief. I trust in that belief, honestly. Like, I feel like we respond well against losses. We have footage. We have film. We are now humbled. Turn off your phones. Turn down the media hype. Don't watch shit. And, like, just follow the game plan. And I feel like what got us here, go back to that. Like, I'm sorry. Don't try to do anything fancy or new or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, even if they call the fouls softly, like, keep just playing that
persevere.
Way.
Like, be mentally strong. I just I couldn't believe this giving up. I don't know. That's what made me so confident about this game tonight. Is that it was like we had. Oh, sorry, you haven't shown the.
I did
other stats. Oh, you did? Okay, perfect. I thought even if we didn't have like the strongest of starts, because we have had strong or weak starts throughout the entire year, even games that we've won really like impressively. We've had some bad starts, some slow starts, but I was like, you know what? This is the most hyped game. We have so many fans hyped for this. We got all these like celebrities here at the game that have like traveled to like be here. Like Metro Boomin's on the sideline. They had Gunna, and like there was all these people here. And
for a 30-point loss.
For a 30-point loss. And it's like, I just figured that even if this was a loss, it was going to be like a gutty loss. And I think that's the thing that scares me the most, if I'm being just completely honest, is that like it was a pretty gutless loss. Like there was really almost no fight in this game. But that's not to say that I don't believe in this team fighting back on Sunday. I do think that this team will fight back on Sunday. They take these kind of losses very seriously. And if we were to lose Sunday's game just like this, where they're shooting lights out and we just put up no fight, regardless of ticky-tack fouls or not, then we're at DEFCON whatever, 5, 6, 10, 12, whatever. It's bad. We're in a bad situation because technically, if you're really looking at it, we both have 2 home games left now for the series. So it's kind of tied, but that's why you got to come out on Sunday. If you win Sunday, that's good. The other problem though, is that Denver is going to believe that they can win this series no matter what, because they have previously, I think even their championship year maybe came down from 3-1 in a series. So they will have this belief. But yeah, Crone says, oh wait, let's see. I expect an Ant masterpiece game 4 of him attacking the rim from the start. I hope so. Because it seems like that's been working for him this series. Yeah, that's been working for him this series. He's been able to get to the rim too. It's not even been like that much craziness. The scary thing for me is that Christian Braun, for some reason, like has him locked up, which I don't understand, because I don't feel like he's playing that good of defense. I don't know if it's just he's stronger or something, and it's harder to like. But I don't know. He can get by Aaron Gordon. I don't know. It's just it must be a speed thing. But yeah, Crone. That's what I was saying. They've been back. They've come down. Like they've been come back from 3-1 twice. So like this is
that was right. That was bubble, right?
Yeah, it is bubble, but still, like this is certainly something that can happen. And Crone, this is what I was reading earlier. There's a flip side to it too. If you have a stinker and that's not who you are, then you just finish the game. Yeah,
flush the game.
Flush the game. Yeah, which
Michael
hopefully,
go ahead.
Hopefully that's it. Hopefully we're just flushing it.
Michael from Twitter, what's up? Hey, by the way, join us on YouTube. We have discourse on YouTube, and also join us on Discord. Hashtag
Discord.
Discord.
Yes.
To be honest, this is a good little warning. I love the subtle optimism from all this because I was kind of shouting profanities while I was watching this game. 6 wins in a row so far. We needed a wake up call. Every team needs a wake up call.
Yes.
You know, the Boston Celtics are getting complacent. Lose by 30 to the
Yep.
Cavs or whatever that was.
Yeah. That's
and if we want to
embarrassing.
make the finals, we need to go through something, right? And we need to
Yeah.
experience a loss.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. The way we lost is not how I wanted this game to go.
I'm so glad you brought this up because this is something that I wanted to say is that, you know, I was kind of jokingly, I think game two, I was like, you know, I was almost kind of hoping for a loss because we kind of need to see how we respond to a loss in the playoffs. Because, you know, responding to a loss in the regular season, like let's say you lose game 30 really badly. Well, guess what? You have 52 more games in the season. So you have no stress. So you can come back the next game and play really strong. This is a very shortened timeline. You know, like if you lose a game, that's a pretty massive loss. So, like, you know, even though series are meant to be 7 games, and you know, every team currently in the second round has lost a game. So, like, you know, that is normal to lose games, but we have not lost until just now. So, how do you respond on Sunday? Anthony Edwards after the game tonight. It's on me. I'll take the blame for this loss. I came out with no energy at all. True. I can't afford to do that for my team. I let my team down and the fans down. Yep, that's true. I'm glad he's able to recognize that. And I think that that's a very accurate representation of what happened today. So,
5 offensive rebounds, 14 turnovers. When we didn't get to the line, our star players didn't get to the line. We didn't like push the envelope with our star players. And we had Mike Conley shoot a bunch. We had like the others shoot a bunch, you know. Nas Reed was trying to do some layups when he usually does transition layups, not like into contests, right? So I just feel like we went away from self-discipline. I think we went away from like what we're good at, and I don't know.
We might have been convinced by the media too. You know, like we might have been convinced and been like, yeah, you know what? Maybe Denver just sucks now, and we just are like naturally okay, and like we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I think there's that. All of it's relevant. Everything can. Who's to know? Like, how do you believe Cat when he says things in his pressers or like his interviews? You got to play 48 minutes. You got to, most points wins. Like, what does he say? He says like, he's just special, and we have to play with discipline. Like, can you trust it? Right? Sometimes it's like it's just jargon out of their mouth. But sometimes they are on the internet reading what people say.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are on reading and watching ESPN, and they're just anointing Ant.
Yeah,
that's going to maybe get into someone's head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It got into 100%. Ours as a fan base who just fucking showed up in droves, and like, wow, it was so fun to see the hype leading into the game from local media, local TV, and
so much local media, dude.
Crazy. A lot of local media. Yeah. But and like, fucking A, shout out to the guy who's making Nas Reed tattoos on everyone's ass. Like
seriously.
I saw someone do like Nas Reed on their fingers, like Nas Reed.
Yeah.
Like 2 words.
That
was pretty clever.
That was cool, yeah.
He made bank. A-Rod showed up at Falling Knife. I mean, like all sorts of nonsense happening. It's just for a 30-point loss. All those parties downtown, right? Those like Minnesota branded themed parties, man, for this kind of game. Sunday, I can't show up, Minnesota.
Yeah, you need to show up. This is the thing. You can't be fair weather fans. You have to be committed. This is an actual good team. And I'm not, like I do think that this team does, and I still say this after tonight. Is my confidence shaken? A little bit. But I still believe this. This is a team that could win. Seriously, they could win the title this year. It's not a joke. We are close. Like, we're 2 games. We only need to win 2 more games in 4 more games. Yeah. So, like, we need to win 2 games somehow, some way. I don't care how ugly it is. I don't care how it looks. You just got to win.
Bro, heat packs. You don't.
And then you're going. Yeah. And then, and then you go to the next round where your opponent is likely not going to be as challenging as the champion Denver Nuggets. The Mavs, they're a good-looking team. OKC has some good players, but like realistically, you probably have the advantage in either one of those matchups. So, this is the one that you really got to lock in. Ant can't show up and be like a nothing energy wise. And then you win game 4, you're looking good again. And then, we were kind of people were talking about it on the Discord, but it's like, you win game 4, you kind of you forget about tonight, because then all you got to do is win 1 of 3 games. And I think that's possible. So, yeah, it's possible. But schedule Sunday. What time is it? Let me see. Sunday's game is a little bit earlier. Yeah, 7:00 game. 7 Central. So I don't know if that's good or bad. but yeah, so 7:00 Central, and then it looks like it has been determined, unfortunately, everybody, on Tuesday. Everybody brace for impact. It is a 9:30 Central game. I am
what is
sorry.
happening over there?
What is going on? What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? That's in Denver, so that's the late night game on Tuesday on TNT.
On a weekday.
Dude, they're idiots.
That's crazy. So our clinching game could possibly be at midnight. So that's not fun, but yeah. And then another game Thursday, excuse me, assuming we don't clinch on Tuesday, but we will see. But yeah, well, might be it for us. I appreciate we got to 25 likes, by the way, so that means that we're gonna win game 4. Shout out,
like that. Shout
out chat, shout out Wad Squad, which now I'm never gonna think of the same again.
Shout out Nick Anderson. Shout out Eric Keller. You guys are just too kind.
You guys are too kind. And sorry, for some reason it's not showing up on my end anymore. I don't understand.
Johnny 2X, you woke up from a coma and didn't watch this game?
Oh my gosh.
How's it going? I think it's not really worth watching, but if you were
there wasn't a game tonight.
Yeah, there wasn't even a game. Oh,
there wasn't a game. We just went live because there's been so many days, it's been a long time. There was not a game. Actually, game 2 happened. So make sure you go on League Pass, rewatch game 2.
By the way, how many times have you watched game 2? Because I've seen game 2
an embarrassing
amount of times. Like I go to bed watching and I wake up, be like, damn, I could check the news, or I could just rewatch quarter 2 all over again.
Yeah, or like, yeah, the amount of times that I've started pacing around my apartment and even like flexing after the Nah and Jaden like stopping, like, oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, it's an embarrassing amount. So hopefully some Nuggets fans are clipping this right now and saving it for when they reverse sweep us. But I will live with that. That was exciting. That was amazing.
I mean, it's been 20 years. It's been 20 years, Cameron.
Yeah, here's the thing. I understand this is a disappointing night, obviously, and I'm not trying to take that away. You are allowed to be disappointed tonight. I am disappointed tonight. But realistically, everything beyond the first round of the playoffs is extra. I mean, like what did we want to do? We wanted to not be first round swept. And there's still we essentially mission is accomplished. And we're in the second round of the playoffs. We've won games in the second round of the playoffs. This one game cannot erase 2 really good games that we played against Denver in Denver.
Very true.
Like we played good basketball. Maybe Denver didn't play up to their like standard, but we played good. It's kind of like Denver played good. We played terrible tonight. They may say the same thing, but like they played good basketball tonight, so it's still on them. They win. That's how it was for us the first 2 games at least. So yeah, and there's still of course there's still a chance we're still up in the series. So we still have a very good chance of winning this series. And especially if we win this series, I mean, like guys, like if we win this series, I know we have higher aspirations right now, but like this is incredible. Like this is fun, regardless of what's happening. We're talking basketball on May 10th.
Okay,
you guys, we are deep into off-season content by this every other season. Think of how many videos of off-season content has come out by this time every other season.
From us alone?
Yeah. I mean,
many.
You'd have to count on at least one hand.
Infinite amount.
Infinite, yes.
Be your extra. We'll be fine. All I got after tonight.
I know.
So
That's
we
pretty
just
much all we
yapped
had.
for 75 minutes and basically said, "Yeah, we'll be fine." And I kind of agree.
Hashtag
Why
short show.
why aren't you on the show? I feel like when you come on and you say these things, it's like, why
To be
you should just
fair,
take over.
everyone in the Discord told us, give him
Oh.
a Delo and call it a stream.
And what did we
But
do? We did.
we did, and then we just made that an hour and a half. But anyways,
Mother's Day is
Sunday
coming
night.
up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something? Because I'm about to wrap it all up.
Mother's Day, if you celebrate Mother's Day,
We'll be
pay
here
it
on Mother's
forward.
Day.
Be here on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Win it
Give
for
us your
Hollis.
Mother's Day gifts. We will accept in the chat on Monday. Win it for Hollis. Yes. We will see you Sunday night, hopefully, for a much better outcome. So, all right. 10 more wins. Still possible.
That was crazy, Crone. Sorry, I'm not. Oh, we can talk off.
We'll
Wrap it up.
be happy we
Get
don't
out
have
of
to
here.
wait too long.
Get it out of here.
Yeah, that's true. But I wish we had a little bit of time to kind of game plan because they had 17 days to game plan.
They had 17 days, literally.
Pretty much. All right, 10 more wins is possible. Intro as the outro. Oops, I lost it. We will see you guys Sunday night. Peace.